Introduction. At first glance, the Buddha and Adam Smith appear to belong to completely different worlds. One was a spiritual teacher who walked through ancient India over 2,500 years ago. The other was an 18th-century Scottish philosopher often called the father of modern capitalism. One taught detachment from craving. The other explored markets, trade, and economic freedom. Yet beneath the surface lies a remarkable truth. Both the Buddha and Adam Smith understood something fundamental about human prosperity. Economic systems collapse when human greed becomes uncontrolled. And societies flourish when ethics, discipline, trust, and moderation guide economic life. Modern society often portrays spirituality and capitalism as enemies. But both Buddhist philosophy and Adam Smith's original economic vision believed prosperity required moral balance. This e-book explores the surprising similarities between the economic thinking of the Buddha and Adam Smith, and why their combined wisdom may be more relevant today than ever before. Chapter 1: The human mind is the foundation of economics. Modern economics often focuses on markets, statistics, production, and consumption. But both the Buddha and Adam Smith believed economics ultimately begins inside the human mind. The Buddha taught that uncontrolled craving creates suffering, not only individually, but socially. Greed without restraint creates instability, corruption, exploitation, conflict. Adam Smith, although famous for The Wealth of Nations, also wrote extensively about morality in his lesser-known work, The Theory of Moral Sentiments. Smith believed markets could not function properly without trust, ethics, restraint, and social responsibility. This is often forgotten in modern capitalism. Both thinkers understood economic systems reflect human psychology. A society driven entirely by greed eventually weakens itself from within, because prosperity without morality becomes destructive. Chapter 2: Self-interest versus greed. One of the most misunderstood ideas in economics is Adam Smith's concept of self-interest. Many assume Smith believed greed was good, but this is inaccurate. Smith believed healthy self-interest could create economic productivity. People work, innovate, and trade because they seek improvement in their lives. But Smith never advocated limitless greed. In fact, he repeatedly warned against monopolies, corruption, and excessive concentration of power. The Buddha made a similar distinction. He did not reject wealth itself. He rejected attachment and uncontrolled desire. This is a crucial difference. In Buddhist thought, wealth gained ethically and used wisely can improve society. The Buddha even advised householders on saving, investment, responsible spending, and avoiding destructive financial behavior. Both thinkers therefore supported productive economic activity, but they warned against economic behavior driven entirely by uncontrolled craving. Because when desire becomes limitless, society loses balance. Chapter 3: Ethics is the foundation of prosperity. The Buddha taught the principle of right livelihood. Wealth should be created ethically. Economic activity should avoid exploitation, deception, violence, and harm. Adam Smith similarly believed trust was essential for healthy markets. Without honesty, contracts fail, institutions weaken, and economic confidence collapses. Modern capitalism often focuses heavily on profit alone. But both Smith and the Buddha believed long-term prosperity depends on ethical behavior. This becomes increasingly important in the digital age. Today, consumers increasingly support companies they trust emotionally. Brands that repeatedly violate ethics eventually lose public confidence. The Buddha understood that actions create consequences. Adam Smith understood that trust sustains commerce. Both recognized that morality is not separate from economics. It is one of its foundations. Chapter 4: Moderation and Sustainability. Modern economies often glorify endless consumption. More products. More stimulation. More accumulation. But both Buddhist philosophy and Adam Smith warned indirectly against imbalance. The Buddha taught moderation. Not extreme luxury. Not extreme deprivation. But balance. This principle was called the middle path. Adam Smith also warned against economic systems distorted by excess concentration of wealth and power. He feared systems where a small elite manipulated markets unfairly. Both thinkers understood. Extreme imbalance destabilizes society. Modern economies increasingly struggle with mental exhaustion, inequality, overconsumption, environmental stress, and financial instability. Perhaps because modern civilization confuses consumption with fulfillment. But the Buddha believed happiness could not be permanently purchased externally. And Adam Smith understood that stable societies require social cohesion. Both philosophies therefore support sustainable prosperity, not reckless excess. Chapter 5. Discipline creates wealth. The Buddha placed enormous emphasis on discipline, control of impulses, mindfulness, patience, long-term thinking. These qualities are also essential for economic success. Modern financial failure often results from impulsive consumption, lack of patience, emotional decision-making, and short-term thinking. Adam Smith deeply admired productivity, discipline, and organized labor. He believed economic advancement emerged from specialization, skill development, and disciplined systems. Both thinkers understood wealth creation requires structure and effort, not merely desire. The disciplined individual usually accumulates stability over time. The undisciplined individual becomes controlled by impulse. This principle applies equally to individuals, corporations, and entire economies. Chapter 6. The dangers of uncontrolled materialism. The Buddha repeatedly warned that attachment to material desire creates suffering, not because material things are inherently evil, but because endless craving never ends. Modern consumer culture operates through this psychological mechanism. People are constantly taught to compare, to consume, to upgrade, and to seek identity through possessions. Yet anxiety, depression, and emotional exhaustion continue rising globally. Adam Smith also warned against societies becoming excessively obsessed with wealth display and vanity. He understood status competition could distort human behavior. Both thinkers recognized that economies should serve human well-being, not enslave human psychology. This becomes increasingly relevant today. Modern digital capitalism profits heavily from distraction, emotional manipulation, and endless consumption cycles. The Buddha would likely view this as institutionalized craving. And Adam Smith would likely question whether such systems truly create social well-being. Chapter 7. Trust, social stability, and strong societies. Healthy economies require social trust. People must believe institutions function fairly, contracts are respected, and systems remain stable. Adam Smith believed trust enabled trade and economic cooperation. The Buddha emphasized compassion, honesty, and social harmony. Both understood societies collapse when selfishness destroys collective trust. Economic prosperity therefore depends not only on GDP, but on psychological stability, ethical leadership, and social cohesion. Modern economies increasingly suffer from distrust. Distrust in institutions, distrust in corporations, distrust in media, and distrust in leadership. Both Buddhist philosophy and Adam Smith's original moral framework suggest that sustainable prosperity requires rebuilding trust itself. Because no economy survives long-term when society becomes psychologically fragmented. Chapter 8. The Future of Human-Centered Economics. Today, humanity faces a major economic crossroads. Artificial intelligence transforms labor. Automation reshapes industries. Digital systems influence human attention constantly. And modern capitalism increasingly optimizes for engagement rather than well-being. This creates an important question. What should an economy ultimately serve? The Buddha would likely argue human liberation from suffering. Adam Smith would likely argue productive prosperity guided by moral order. Neither vision supports reckless greed. Neither supports economic systems disconnected from ethics. Both believe prosperity should improve human life, not psychologically destroy it. Perhaps the future requires integrating both perspectives. Economic freedom, balanced by wisdom. Productivity, balanced by ethics. Innovation, balanced by human well-being. Because economies are not merely financial systems. They are reflections of human values. And societies ultimately become shaped by the desires they reward most strongly. Conclusion. The Buddha and Adam Smith lived in different civilizations separated by thousands of years. Yet both understood a timeless truth. Prosperity without morality becomes unstable. Wealth without wisdom becomes destructive. And economic systems cannot remain healthy when human greed becomes limitless. The Buddha taught mastery over craving. Adam Smith taught the importance of ethical economic behavior. Both believed discipline, trust, moderation, and moral responsibility were essential for stable prosperity. Perhaps modern civilization misunderstood both men. Perhaps true economic progress was never meant to create endless consumption alone, but balanced human flourishing. And in an age of anxiety, inequality, and psychological exhaustion, their combined wisdom may become more valuable than ever before. Let us know from where you are watching by noting on the comments section. Thank you for watching.